5 and the Windsor Express. I'm Nick Lee, joined by Alex Gunn as we bring you the entire broadcast. And these two teams, they're getting used to each other.
Yeah, it's the fourth time they played in the last month, so they're getting to know each other pretty well. But Windsor's currently at 1-5, I believe. So we'll see what happens.
Well, we saw St. John come to town on Thursday. They were 0-5 on the season, and the head coach Logan Stutz and the coaching staff was saying, we can't take a team like this lightly, and that's exactly what they have to do once again here with the Windsor Express coming in 1-5. However, they played the Sudbury 5 pretty tight this season.
Yeah, they really have. Well, and we've mentioned this before. This is a professional league, so any team can win on any given night. So you really have to take every team seriously. There's no walkthroughs in this league. So as long as they play their game, though, I'm pretty confident in their ability to win this one.
Now, despite the Sudbury 5 being 2-1 against the Windsor Express this season, they've actually been outscored by 5 points, so 338 to 333, and that's because of that 103-91 loss that they had in Windsor. So 2 games on the road, they played Windsor, 1 game here at home. And Sudbury, in their win against Windsor, they had 6 players in double-digit figures. Their loss against St. John, they had 4 in double digits, and the loss against Windsor, just 3 in double-digit scoring. So how do they get that balanced scoring that they need, that they've seen in victories this season?
It's a team game. You really do have to play team basketball. As long as they're sharing the ball, like the assist numbers need to be up, and it's a surefire way to get to help yourself get the W.
And now after their first loss of the season, Sudbury started the season off 3-0, and then found themselves on the losing side against the Windsor Express, but they were able to bounce right back and win against the London Lightning. And so it's how important is it for the Sudbury 5 to bounce back with a strong effort here and stop the losing streak just at 1?
It's incredibly important because things like this can they can really run away from you if you're not focused in on every single individual game. You got to take it one game at a time. And as we said, you can't take any team lightly. But it's also a game of confidence. So if they can get a couple wins in a row, it's only going to show for them in the future. It's only going to help them get a win in the next games.
So both teams are coming into this game coming off of losses. The Sudbury 5 game on Thursday, St. John, an overtime thriller that St. John just outplayed them in that extra frame, outscoring them 8-4, ended up winning 115-111. The Windsor Express on Thursday as well, they played the London Lightning and they played them well. They lost by 1 point, 99-98, had a shot to win it at the very end, but just couldn't knock it down. So you know that they're going to come in and play teams tight. London is tied for first in the standings in the conference with the Sudbury 5. So this team's coming in here and they want a little bit of revenge after losing a couple this Sudbury.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's kind of like the last game they played against St. John's, where the other team, if they don't have a good record, they still have good players, but they tend to just want the win more. They're gonna give everything they can to get that monkey off their back. And at 1-5, it's kind of the same situation as the 0-5 team.
We're going to head it down to court level right now for the singing of the national anthem, so we'll be right back in just a minute. The starting lineups for your home team, Sudbury 5 will be number 1, Jalen Bland, Braylon Rayson, and Corey Dixon, number 4. Those three have been usual starters for this team. They're changing it up a little bit. Going to go with Dexter Williams Jr. and Devin Gilligan in the starting lineup, trying to switch it up a little bit. Travis Relaford had been a mainstay in that starting 5.
Yeah, and the coaches, what they'll do is the way the team are playing in practice, if one of the players is giving it a more effort than one of the current starters, the coach might reward that player by moving him into the starting lineup, and I think that might be the case with this here.
On the other side, the Windsor Express will start Juan Patillo, Brian Addison, Richard Amarty, Horace Wormley, and Ryan Anderson. Pretty much the same starting lineup that we saw the last time the Windsor Express were here, outside of Richard Amarty getting the start. Another player that we want to watch out for, DeAndre Thomas. Big body, definitely 6'9", and 295 pounds. We saw that he gave them a little bit of problem down the stretch in that third and fourth quarter against Sudbury last time. Grandy Glaze going up against him in the post.
Yeah, he kind of held Grandy in check with when it came to the rebound battle in that one too. But like you said, at 6'9", 290, he's a big boy. So he's one of those players where the coach wants you to box out every time. But with a player like him, you're going to have a pretty hard time moving him out of the paint.
And definitely the top two to look for on this Windsor Express team. Juan Patillo against Sudbury held to just 6 points in that loss, but 18 points the other two times that they played. 10 of 12 against the London Lightning for 24 points. So he's coming up a hot game. And Ryan Anderson, obviously the top three-point shooter in the history of the National Basketball League of Canada. 13 points, 12 rebounds on just 4 of 16 shooting against London, and had a tough time against the 5 as well. 16 points, but a tough shooting night. But, you know, shooters shoot, and he can get hot at any time. We saw he has limited range.
Yeah, absolutely, and especially with Anderson. He's the type of player where he could be cold in the first quarter going 0 for 5 or something, but if he hits 1 or 2 in a row, he can pop off for 8 in a row after that. Like, he's that good of a shooter.
And once again, we mentioned it, they're still at the top of the leaderboards in the National Basketball League of Canada, but Braylon Rayson and Jalen Bland, they've been absolutely unreal. They really brought this game back in that fourth quarter against St. John. Jalen Bland hitting that huge three-pointer with 5.6 seconds left on the clock, descended to overtime. But there's got to be, as we mentioned it just a little while ago, there's got to be a little bit more depth to scoring. Corey Dixon had 18 points against St. John, but there's got to be that fourth and fifth score.
Yeah, you need a bit more consistency from your bench players as well. We've had that quite a bit. Relaford has been doing phenomenal. Of course, he moved into the starting lineup the game before, but as long as they keep sharing the ball, though, I think everyone's getting their shots, so we should be able to see that.
Ball movement is key. Grandy Glaze as well, leading the league in rebounds, 12.5 per game. Had 12 points and 17 boards the last game against St. John. So he is just racking them up, gobbling them up. And the starting lineups for the Sudbury 5, as you see that on the screen. And we mentioned it before, that Bland, Rayson, Dixon, Dexter Williams Jr., and Devin Gilligan get the start. The Sudbury 5 tied with London with 8 points on the season. First place, Sudbury 5 has one less game played than the London Lightning. Down on the bottom of that Central Division is the Windsor Express, just 2 points because of the one win on the season. That lone win did come against Sudbury.
Well, and when you play as many times as these two teams have, they do figure out each other's nuances. So it's not surprising that they have picked up a win, but I do expect us to go 3-1 against them in the first month of the season here.
And a bit different too, because there's so many games so close together that there's not a lot of roster turnover that you might see, later on in the season with trades or free agent pickups. So you get a little bit more feel of the players who you're against. You have your regular matchups that you want to see, that you can expose, some that you can use as a defensive matchup as well. The Sudbury 5 won't play Windsor at home at least until the middle of January. So 2 more home games after this one. They see each other a lot, but Sudbury, the 2-1 record. So we're going to head down to court level, where we're almost ready to go here on a Sunday afternoon. It wraps up a very, very busy weekend. Sudbury 5 lost to St. John on Thursday, then 2 Wolves games. They won back-to-back home games on Friday, Saturday, capped off this weekend on a Sunday afternoon. It's the Windsor Express and Sudbury 5. It's going to be like this, you know, throughout the winter months of busy weekends with both the Sudbury Wolves and Sudbury 5. Great for the hometown fans, sports fans. Another pretty good crowd out here. So as we mentioned, Devin Gilligan and Dexter Williams Jr. inserted into the starting lineup. What can they bring to this starting lineup?
Great team basketball. They're both team players, and what they really excel at is they've accepted the roles they have. They let Jalen Bland and Rayson do what they're going to do, but they also contribute in other ways that may not necessarily be high scoring, whether it's rebounds, steals, assists. They can kind of do a bit of it all.
And we've seen Devin Gilligan knock down a couple of those key three-point shots. And the tip is won by the Sudbury 5, and we are underway in Greater Sudbury for game number 7 on the Sudbury 5 season, the 3rd home game overall. Braylon Rayson starts us off up top, and it's to Jalen Bland. Makes a move, steps to the left. Shot bounces a couple times. Dexter Williams gets to the glass but can't tip it in. And back the other way come the Windsor Express. Morris Wormley had a great game against this team the last time they were in Sudbury. Juan Patillo once again, you got to watch out for him. Great moves in the post. And there's Anderson. And no space at all. He's able to knock it down. And if he gets hot, it could be a long night for Sudbury defenders. Gilligan up top. He's got the ball over to Williams. He takes a corner 3. He knocks it down. 5-4-3. And Williams Jr. taking advantage of that starting position. And Logan Stutz looking like a smart man so far. Ryan Anderson doesn't look to shoot. Had a little bit of space on Gilligan. Inside to Patillo. He's got Corey Dixon on him. Steps back, now he crosses through the legs, looking for someone. Anderson with the clock winding down. And that's a great defensive possession by the Sudbury 5.
Yeah, great closeout on Gilligan there too, just to challenge the shot of Anderson.
Bland wide open, he knocks it down. 2 shots, 2 threes. Sudbury leads this one 6-3.
Yeah, Anderson's something we really got to worry about out there, but luckily for us, we got a couple players they have to worry about as well.
Great defense there. Juan Patillo will pick up the foul as Braylon Rayson squeaking in there and gets a hand on the ball. Wanted a little cookies, and he found it and then pick up the foul. Juan Patillo did. And Sudbury 5 ball. Just 2 minutes into this first quarter. Devin Gilligan up top gets it to Dexter Williams Jr. Crossover, looking for Bland. Bland has 2 on him, goes inside to Dixon. He gets control of it. Spins back to his left hand, goes up with the right, and he finishes.
It's great footwork by Dixon there. I love that drop step. There's not much the defense can do when he pulls that off.
And Dixon got control of the ball, finally did, and then was able to go up strong, both hands, and finish over top of the defender. Wormley up top, goes down low to Patillo. Great defense there by Dixon. Patillo trying to find something, he can't. Here's Amarty. Amarty, the crossover to the left hand, hits back rim and out. And Dixon up to Gilligan. Gilligan crossover, takes the 3. That one just long. Ryan Anderson the board. Behind his back twice. Back the other way, Rayson had an opportunity. He was close to the basket, and now he pulls it back, takes the 3. That one missed. We saw Rayson hit quite a few of those in the 4th quarter on Thursday night. There's a defensive breakdown as Addison, underneath Addison, the top scorer for this team last time the two met. The man from Queens, New York, guarding Jalen Bland up top. Dexter Williams sweeps through, baseline, has it stripped, but he stays with it. He's looking for the foul call and doesn't stop playing. He goes right up with it. Wormley up top. Anderson, he is guarded by Gilligan. Gilligan playing him well outside the three-point line where you need to. Wormley wide open, takes the shot. And nobody picking up Wormley as he used the flare screen, gets over to the right side. And it's a 10-8 ball game.
Yeah, a bit of confusion here early on in the defensive end for the 5.
Racing has 2 on him. Someone's open. Gilligan was in the corner. And the pass slides through out of bounds, and it's going to be express ball. You said it, 2 glaring defensive breakdowns, one underneath where Addison was wide open, then Wormley, the 3. The offense is there, but the defense has to pick up a little in the early going. Amarty up top for 3. He knocks it down, the express.
I really like what Racing did there coming back down the court, though. He kind of gathered his teammates and talked with them and made sure everybody knew who they were guarding.
And so Jalen Bland taking it to the basket, gets the foul called. He'll head to the line for 2 free throws. Bland from Saginaw, Michigan, went to the University of California, Riverside. He's going for the first of 2. Bland holds the University of California Riverside program record, 118 threes in one season and 213 overall in his career. It's carried over into his professional career as well. You see, you don't need to give him too much room, and he'll knock him down. There he knocks down 2 free throws. Wormley up top now. Gets it into Amarty, goes right at Dixon, gets his own rebound, it bounces around, and Gilligan comes out with it. Gilligan bounce back to Racing, and that's a blocking foul and 1. Racing gets it to go.
Yeah, I loved what Racing did there. He saw he had the smaller defender on him, so he just straight lined it right to the hole, and the defender couldn't step up and take the charge.
Exactly. Wormley was moving backwards and Racing coming at him so fast there was no way for Wormley to establish position. He tried to at the very end, but he was clearly moving, as you see on the replay. And Bland for the and 1. He knocks it down and gives the Sudbury 5 a 4-point lead with 7:26 left to go here in the first quarter. Wormley up top, goes over to Patillo. And Anderson takes a fall, and Dexter Williams Jr. is going to pick up the off-ball foul. And so the ball out of bounds will go underneath the nets. 15-11. Looking inside. Patillo up to Anderson, fading back. Great defense by Dexter Williams Jr. picking up the man. Gilligan comes in, drops it off to Racing. Back out to Gilligan. Gilligan, the shot, knocks it down, 5-4-3. Gilligan thought about the extra pass, decided he had the good shot, put it up and knocked it down.
Yeah, I like that, especially when you're at the top of the three-point line. It is the highest percentage area to take threes on the court.
Dexter Williams Jr. picking up another foul on Ryan Anderson. They're trying to stick tight to him, which is the smart way to play him defensively. And Grandy Glaze will come in. He'll take out Corey Dixon.
Yeah, when it comes to Anderson, you kind of have to give up the drive knowing how good of a three-point shooter he is. So you have to rely on your teammates for help defense if he does blow past you.
Wormley finding Amarty around the screen. Jalen Bland gets his hands in there. And a foul on the arm on Amarty. And a side out of bounds. 18-11 after that Devin Gilligan 3. The Sudbury 5. Wormley coming around Grandy Glaze. Anderson, the up fake, goes in. Tries to bank it, but it rims out, and Braylon Racing comes back the other way. Nice screen by Glaze up top. Steps back, and that one, I think Braylon Racing looking for the foul. Oh, Anderson wide open, knocks it down so smooth. And you see those good shooters, their forms just never change, no matter the situation. And Anderson, Racing has 2 on him. Gilligan wide open in the corner on an island, takes the shot, can't knock it down. And Dexter Williams Jr. has it blocked. Gilligan follows up. And that is hustle at its finest, Devin Gilligan.
Yeah, he never gives up on a play. They had missed the first 2 shots, and he decided he's going to cut down the middle there, and sure enough, he got the rebound and a nice reverse layup.
Juan Patillo, the shot from the elbow extended, can't knock it down. Up Bland, long three, that one misses everything. Dexter Williams Jr. follows up, and as he's falling out of bounds, turns it over, and another foul goes to the Sudbury 5.
They're going to have to be kind of careful here. They've been picking up quite a bit of fouls early on in the game.
And while you don't want to discourage a player like Jalen Bland from shooting that kind of shot or shooting his shot per se, taking a three like that, they have the lead and they've got those good looks off of ball movement. So you come up, pull up, and you take that three and you give the opportunity for them to run right back.
It used to be considered a bad shot to take, but with people's three-point percentage just getting better and better as the years go on, when you're going to take a deep three, coming down the court at full speed helps you get a little extra distance on the shot. So yeah, as you said, no one's going to get upset when he pulls up for that.
No. Perhaps if he does it, 2-3 times, then you're like, okay, maybe look for that, a better shot, ball movement. You're going to get that shot later on in the clock as well. The same kind of look.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's one thing I'm sure you as well, our coaches used to stress all the time is when you're taking a quick shot, if it's a shot that you're going to get later on in the clock anyways, you might as well make the defense exert a little extra energy.
Sometimes you just say, but coach, heat check, right? So the Sudbury 5 lead this one 20-14. The first timeout. We'll have a couple subs coming in. George Serres from Sudbury, Ontario, making his debut this game.
I really liked the way he played last game. I'm hoping that carries over into this one as well.
Very aggressive both offensively and defensively. Shots didn't fall for him, but they will as long as, he continues to play hard on defense. He'll get those transition baskets. And as we mentioned, if they swing the ball around, he'll get those open threes in the corner. And that's when you get the opportunity like Dexter Williams Jr. did and Gilligan to knock those down. So Glaze is in along with George Serres, and Gilligan, Bland, and racing up top. Horace Wormley with the ball. Looking inside, Amarty gets it to Thomas. And DeAndre Thomas has it blocked.
Great
Getting that out of here by Devin Gilligan. And a travel to Grandy Glaze coming back the other way. But triple team as soon as DeAndre Thomas caught the ball. And there was a flurry of 5 players coming at him.
I have a feeling Coach Stutz might have had that one of his main focuses in their practice. Because the way we collapsed on him as soon as he got the ball down low was beautiful to watch.
And you're going to see a physical battle inside Glaze and Thomas. And we're going to have a foul. And an offensive foul. It looks like DeAndre Thomas pushed one of the 5 players into his own player.
I always get concerned when the refs make a call like that because you're not really sure which way it's going to go, but they got it right that time.
And so the Sudbury 5 coming over the timeline. It's Devin Gilligan. Inside to Grandy Glaze. Glaze going up and under, can't finish, and Thomas gets the rebound, gets it up to Wormley. The pass on the right side. Wormley up top. Puts Glaze in a spin cycle, down low to Thomas, he'll pick up the foul.
Once again, though, with two defenders collapsing on him there, I think they made the right choice. He did get a bit deep, so it was a given layup. Might as well send him to the free throw line, see if he can knock them down.
And if you're sending him to the free throw line, you'll probably take that all night long, make him work for those baskets, not establish that position down low. Just continue to tire him out as the game goes along. He had a very strong fourth quarter, third and fourth quarter, the last time these two teams played. And so 20-15, 4:35 left to go. And that one is missed. Grandy Glaze is able to pick up the rebound.
That's clearly a moving screen from Thomas there.
And Blazek in now for the Sudbury 5. Blazek going at Amarty. Trying to throw something up as the clock winds down. Can't get anything good. Wormley comes back the other way. Cross to Griffiths. And the shot goes down. Angelo Griffiths.
Whenever we have Thomas, when we're playing against Thomas on the court here, I'd like to see us run it down as fast as we can, because he is a bit slower, being 290, getting up and down the court.
And that shot is missed, and it's now a 2-point game as Patillo gets the rebound. And right to the basket, it's Horace Wormley. And up top, over to Ceres. Ceres takes the three, knocks it down. George Ceres, all the way from College Notre Dame, knocks it down. And Griffiths up top. Gets it down low to Thomas. That one too easy. Blazek picks up the foul. And so a couple subs coming in for the Windsor Express for the Sudbury 5. Bland goes out. Dexter Williams Jr. comes in. And with the free throw, DeAndre Thomas can make this a tie game. He does. 23 all with 3:05 left to go in the first. Windsor putting on the full court press defense. Hamilton now backs off. It's Reggie Hamilton guarding Adam Blazek. Blazek has this screen and switch. And some good ball movement there by the Sudbury 5. Gilligan throws it up. He can't knock it down, and we're going to have a foul on the defensive side. Reggie Hamilton picking that one up.
Yeah, that was a great hustle by Glaze there. Thomas was trying to box him out, but Glaze was just trying to sidestep him, and Thomas was holding him down, so the ref saw it and made the call.
And so the fouls with 2:47, 6 for the Sudbury 5, 5 for the guest Windsor Express, and Thomas comes out, back comes Amarty in for the Express. And Adam Blazek goes into Grandy Glaze. Glaze to Ceres, who's hit a three. Nice passing play there. Glaze elevates, throws it down. Pass from Blazek.
Great pass from Blazek there. He had the shot, but he saw Glaze sloughing down to the baseline.
And Griffiths drops it off for Anderson. Anderson has some room, has Ceres on him. Over to Griffiths, sweep by. Shot, nice little pull-up there by Griffiths. The game is tied once again at 25. Blazek using the screen. Glaze popped, and the pass behind the back was a bit too much. That one, Amarty misses that. Crashes into the guy who sweeps the court, and there's Dexter Williams Jr. Will it fall? No. Gilligan with it. Goes up, gets fouled, heads to the line for two.
Great job by Gilligan sticking with it on that one again. That's the second time tonight where the rebound could have easily went to the other team, but Gilligan's effort and focus just helped him secure that rebound.
And it was bouncing around, and Gilligan just that fight, and that's exactly why he's inserted into the starting lineup here this afternoon. It's to give that effort. Still haven't seen Travis Relaford, so wondering if maybe he's injured, but we'll have to see as that game goes along. And the second one short, Grandy Glaze. Another foul to the Sudbury 5. That should put the Express in the bonus. And so it looks like Richard Amarty will be the shooter. Or, sorry, Brian Addison. And head coach of the Windsor Express, Bill Jones, head coach and GM, having a lengthy conversation with the ref.
It's hard to figure out what they could have been talking about because they did get the foul call. Addison was doing the same thing down low here as well.
That one, well, a point's a point, right?
Yeah, sometimes luck comes into play as well. Banking a free throw straight on is it's a pretty difficult shot, though.
We'll see if he goes with that bold strategy again. No, that one just a bit short of his strategy to go off the bank. Devin Gilligan over the timeline for the Sudbury 5. Has it in the paint, goes to Williams Jr., has it stripped. Down to 10 on the shot clock. Screen, a lot of congestion coming up there for the Sudbury 5. 3 players very, very close to each other, brings all those defenders with them. And Grandy Glaze coming up to set that screen, but there's also a player and his defender right to his left. Not great spacing by the Sudbury 5 as George Shiraz comes out after hitting his first 3. So 6 seconds left on the shot clock. Blazek goes into Gilligan. Gilligan up, and it'll be 2 shots as it's a blocking call.
Great drive by Gilligan there. He just gave a little pump fake and took what the defense gave him. His man started going up a bit, so he just drove around him and sidestepped.
And so Gilligan at the line, 26-26 with 1:30 left to go in this game.
With the way Windsor's been playing defense tonight, it's going to be a real battle. I think this is going to be a close game all the way down the stretch.
And so Reggie Hamilton with the ball up top gets it over to Amarty. Hamilton over to Griffiths, gets the screen up top from Addison. Griffiths takes the shot, that one long, and Blazek gets the board. As Glaze on the block, goes inside to him, spins to his left hand, takes it right to the cup, finishes with that right hand. And Griffiths up top gets it to Anderson, the National Basketball League of Canada all-time leading 3-point shooter. A pass is knocked around, looks like it went off Addison, and that's the way they're going to call it. 40 seconds left. It's a 4-point lead for the Sudbury 5. Blazek now with the ball over half. Looking for Dixon inside. Dixon fighting with Amarty. Amarty, nice defense there. Tries to save it, goes crashing into the bench.
Bit of a scary play there. He tripped over his teammate.
And so that one is going to go out of bounds. 12 seconds left on the shot clock. 28 overall on the game clock. Gets it to Dexter Williams Jr. Nice curl there, and Dixon is held, and he'll get 2 free throws. But a nice read there on the screen.
Yeah, I love seeing that curl cut. It's so hard to defend when you're just rubbing shoulders off the defender. The guy guarding Dixon can't get through or in between them.
So Amarty comes out, in comes Juan Patillo with 25 seconds left. Likely one possession for the Windsor Express. And the second one does not fall. Addison gets the rebound. Reggie Hamilton guarded by Blazek. Hamilton, the Up top against Blazek. 12. Now under 10 seconds. Reggie Hamilton pulls up, takes the three. That one long. Gilligan will have a look at it with 2 seconds. Gets it over to Dexter Williams Jr. Shot up. Count it. 5, 4, 3 at the end of the clock. They're going to discuss it. It looked like he got it off in time.
I hope so. Yeah, it was ticking down the last second there. It's hard to keep an eye on it, but I think he might have got it off with 0.01 seconds left.
So the scorer's table is going to have a look at it. Not sure if we can have a look at it, but it was very close, and he used the bank.
Yeah, I think, well, with what happened with him is he knew the time was running down the clock, and he just tried to get it up as quick as possible.
Well, good heads-up play by Devin Gilligan as well, looking up at the time clock right above the basket. Noticed he had a couple seconds, didn't have the greatest shot, so he throws it over to Dexter Williams Jr. And so after one, it's 34-26 for the Sudbury 5.
Yeah, you got to put the record aside. These players are so good, but if you bring it back to a minute and a half ago, we had a tie game, so you really can't take any plays off. You know, we're up 8 now, even though it was tied with a minute and a half left.
And just the last time that these two teams played, we saw, game of runs where Sudbury would kind of separate themselves a little bit. Windsor kept battling themselves back into the game. What does Sudbury now have to do? I know there's 3 quarters left to go in this game, but what do they do now to separate, and how important is it that they widen this lead here in the second quarter and get, up to 20? They're almost at 10 now. Push that lead up to 20. How important is it?
It's incredibly important, and your main focus right now is going into halftime with a decent lead. It will just alleviate any pressure you're going to have coming into the third quarter.
And on the defensive side, a much better, second half of that first quarter. They had a couple miscues in the first half of the first quarter, but really stifled the defense late. It was a combination of that and Windsor, who had knocked down a couple of their first looks, weren't able to knock down as the clock winded down. And here's Hamilton up top as we start the second quarter here in Greater Sudbury. Reggie Hamilton to the basket. He's able to knock it down. In 2012, Reggie Hamilton led all the NCAA in scoring with 26.2 points a game. For the University of Oakland, played in the Summer League for the Indiana Pacers in a couple seasons in the G League, so he's well-traveled. Up and over top, Corey Dixon knocking it down with a right-handed hook.
Oh, he's signaling, he's cradling it on the court there.
And Anderson gets the screen for Patillo. Inside, has Dixon on him. Dixon jumps. A great job to not jump into him. Down low to Patillo. Patillo will get fouled by Bland.
Quick hands down low. We swatted that ball away 3 times before the foul.
And so Juan Patillo gets 2 free throws with the score 36-28. And Patillo, the shot number 2, knocks it down 36-29. And Braylon Rayson back out there for the Sudbury 5. It's Dixon giving it to Dexter Williams Jr. And Dixon, the short shot does not fall. And back the other way comes the Windsor Express. Cross-court pass, Ryan Anderson wide open, well long, and Addison just takes it out of the hands of Dexter Williams Jr., puts it back up and in.
Yeah, Williams and Gilligan, they're currently leading both leading Sudbury 5 in scoring right now with 8 apiece. And I like what Bland and Racing are doing because even though they finished close to their point totals last game, I believe they were 2 for 8 at the end of the first quarter in the last game. And right now they've combined for 5 shots.
Addison finishes that one off, makes it a 3-point game. That run gets the Windsor Express right back into it, and head coach Logan Stutz calls a timeout for the Sudbury 5. You have the 2 new additions to the starting lineup, at least for this game. Dexter Williams Jr., Devin Gilligan have 8 points. Dexter Williams Jr., 3 of 4, including 2 of 3 from the 3-point line, so very effective there. And Jalen Bland, Braylon Rayson, you know they're going to get it going. 5 points and 3 points for them. On the other side, Ryan Anderson, 2 3-pointers, leads the way with 6 points. It's a pretty balanced scoring for the Windsor Express. You saw Brian Addison knock down a couple in the last few minutes of this second quarter.
I'm really starting to like what Coach Logan did there with bringing in the 2 new starters, because the other team, having us played them 3 times already, the coach is game planning for the starting unit that he's used to seeing. So it kind of throws off their defensive plans when we do insert 2 different players that they're used to playing against as starters.
And 2 guys who, you know, bring that hustle on both defensive and offensive ends of the court. So Sudbury's timeout coming to an end. It will be 5-ball with a 3-point lead here in Greater Sudbury. 115-111 overtime loss on Thursday to the St. John Riptide. A thriller of a game came down to the wire. And Jalen Bland and Braylon Rayson came up huge in that 4th quarter. Rayson and Bland both out there right now with Gilligan, Dixon, and Dexter Williams Jr. Reggie Hamilton providing the pressure on defense on Braylon Rayson. And Dixon comes up for the high screen. He rolls slightly. Braylon Rayson now has Patillo on him. Nice pass in there to Dixon. Dixon just has to adjust a little bit and can't put it in, but a great pass for Braylon Rayson, who is 4th in the National Basketball League of Canada with 6.2 assists a game. There's a nice shot, Reggie Hamilton. He can score in bunches. They might be 1-5, but they have some talent on this roster. Rayson has it stripped by Hamilton and back the other way. Hamilton goes to Griffiths. Griffiths trying to find Patillo, he does. Patillo with the jab step and the spin move back to his strong hand. Addison trying to throw it down with the putback, goes off the backboard. And a nice pass, Gilligan wide open, checks behind him just to see, and that's a 5-4-3. Gilligan knocking it down. And so Reggie Hamilton over to Patillo. Patillo looks for Griffiths. In the corner, it's Hamilton. He'll jack up a 3, knock it down. And once again, Reggie Hamilton with the answer. Devin Gilligan now over to Braylon Rayson, getting the screen from Corey Dixon. And Rayson has some space, step back, likes that little fade.
Yeah, it gives him a little bit of extra ups when he's about to take a shot. It's one of my favorite things too, like taking a step back shot, whether a 3 or not. But you square your body up in the air, and you have the elevation you need.
So both teams doing it beyond the arc in this second quarter. Anderson had a look there, decides to pull it back with 5 on the clock. He's going to have to jack something up. He does, and another 3 is made. Back and forth, these 2 teams putting up some numbers in this second quarter at 42 points apiece. With 7:55 left, out to Gilligan. Gilligan, the shot, the 3, can't knock it down. And that's the first miss for either team in a while. Reggie Hamilton has it go off Gilligan out of bounds. And it's going to be Windsor Express ball. Anderson is going to take the ball out of bounds, gets it inside to Wormley. Patillo, the shot goes up. That one rattles in, around, and out. And it's going to stay with the Windsor Express. 42-42. And Anderson is going to inbound the ball for the Windsor Express. Hamilton knocking down his last 2 3-point shots. Wormley gets the screen from Patillo. And that one can't fall. Patillo has struggled his last 2 games against Sudbury, just 6 points in the last game. A nice pass there. Racing to Grandy Glaze, and the foul. Count it, and the free throw.
Yeah, great pass there. That was he put it right in his mitts. There's no way he could have dropped that one.
And Grandy Glaze will head to the free throw line for the extra one. It is 44-42 for the Sudbury 5 after that foul and one. Glaze knocks it down and widens the lead to 3. Horace Wormley. Juan Patillo up top. And a foul off the ball. It'll be Dexter Williams Jr. getting the foul on Ryan Anderson. Ryan Anderson gets it into Horace Wormley. Wormley drops it down to DeAndre Thomas, and one on the opposite side.
I'd like to see us, anytime he's on the court, start playing really fast-paced on the offensive end. The sooner you can tire out a player like Thomas, it's only going to work out better for us. At 290, he's going to have a hard time sprinting back and down the court.
DeAndre Thomas to the free throw line for the extra one. A 6:58 left to go in this second quarter. Devin Gilligan with the rebound after the missed free throw. And Braylon Rayson coming back the other way for the Sudbury 5. Looking for Jalen Bland. A little screen there. And Bland off the screen from Grandy Glaze. A second air ball from Jalen Bland. Don't see that often from the skilled three-point shooter. And DeAndre Thomas down low, just backing in, using the muscle on Grandy Glaze. He's able to catch it way too low on the block and just take 2 dribbles in and finish. And the Windsor Express now have the lead, 46-45. Dexter Williams Jr. goes right at Patillo, trying to get something, and it's back the other way. Reggie Hamilton fires it up, won't knock it down. Grandy Glaze gets the rebound. Braylon Rayson speeding to the basket, finds Grandy Glaze. They're going to call a foul on Thomas. Off the ball, Braylon Rayson. Nice pass there by Braylon Rayson to Glaze.
Especially running at full speed like that. He is so quick out there, and to be able to make that decision whether you're going to take the layup or pass the ball up top that quick is very impressive.
And so Braylon Rayson inbounds. Grandy Glaze. He puts it up, looking for a foul. He's able to get it to go.
After running into a brick wall there, still finishes the shot.
And Reggie Hamilton with the ball now, getting a big screen from the man nicknamed Cheesecake, DeAndre Thomas, 6'9", 295. And he's going to get fouled by Dexter Williams Jr. As soon as he catches it, the entire team collapses inside.
Yeah, that's clearly it's clearly the game plan with him. Anytime he gets the ball, I don't even know what I would say if I was a coach of how to stop him when he's that low in the post. So you really do have to collapse. It's an entire team effort to guard a man that size.
And you can you can almost start to kind of cheat on DeAndre Thomas, because you notice every time he does get the ball, he's putting it down, he's looking to score. He's not looking to pass out. So yes, they have some skilled three-point shooters, but until he shows you the ability to, make that dribble move and look cross court to make that pass.
Yeah, and ideally that's exactly what you would want. You would want to do. You want him to put the ball on the court, because that gives your defenders, the quicker guards, a chance to swipe at the ball.
And so the free throw goes, lead back to the Windsor Express. And George Soares now in for the Sudbury 5. Looking for Glaze, finds it. Glaze going right to the basket. He's going to get a hard foul. Ryan Anderson sends him to the floor.
It really doesn't matter how tough you are. When you land on your tailbone like that, it's always a scary moment.
And so it's going to be 2 shots for Grandy Glaze, the foul to Ryan Anderson. And Glaze from North York, Ontario is able to knock down the first. The former Grand Canyon University standout, played in Mexico. Also the St. John Edge of the National Basketball League of Canada. And Warmly up top. Anderson, a lot of room, can't knock it down. Glaze. It seems like every rebound goes into the hands of Grandy Glaze. And Braylon Rayson looking for something. It's going to go off his legs, out of bounds. Dribbled right into a trap underneath the basket. Couldn't find anyone cutting.
Yeah, the defense did a great job there, trapping him down low and taking away the passing lanes.
And so that one, a whistle is blown. Reggie Hamilton just or Horace Wormley just putting a shot up.
I really like it when players do that. What Grandy did, the buzzer sounded in Windsor Express. They took a three-pointer, even though knowing the buzzer had gone. But Wormley might be trying to find a shot. So before the ball can go in, Glaze jumps up and just doesn't let him see whether it's in or not.
So it looks like a technical foul was charged. I'm not sure on who there. But the shot plus the ball for the Windsor Express. Braylon Rayson was having a couple words with the refs after that play, but didn't think it was enough to get or garner a technical foul. But Ryan Anderson knocks down the free throw. It's a 49-49 game with 4:55 left to go in this second quarter. Anderson has the ball slip out of his hands. Devin Gilligan back the other way. Finds Bland in the corner to Soares. Soares knocks down Warmly, and Gilligan goes right to the basket and one, too strong.
It's a great effort by George there. The ball was just about turned over, and he's laying down pretty much on the ground, and he was still able to find Gilligan.
And the second one falls for Devin Gilligan. He's able to knock it down, and it's a 52-49 lead, 4:40 left to go.
Well, they had the 8-point lead at the end of the quarter. It's down to 3 now, so I'd really like to see them close out strong here.
Well, they had a good end of the first quarter. We'll see how this one ends. It's Griffiths, the shot, pull up. He knocks it down. He's hit a couple of those off the dribble, pulling up. And he has a couple words for the 5 players. And George Soares has it. He's guarded by Addison. Nice bounce pass into Rayson. Goes up with the left hand, has it rattle out. Warmly dribbling into the key. Finds Anderson. Anderson jacks up a 3, knocks it down in front of the 5 bench. The lead back up to a 54-52
lead for the Express. Grandy Glaze, the right-hand layup, bounces out, and it's going to go to the Windsor Express.
I think Gilligan had a chance to get that before it went out of bounds, but he thought it was off the Windsor Express, so he kind of just let it go so they could reset up on the inbound play.
Juan Patillo inbounds to Horace Warmley, 3:38 left to go in the second. Fouls 5 for the Sudbury 5, 4 for the Windsor Express. And Patillo goes to the basket, tries the finger roll, gets his own rebound, goes up, nice block there by Corey Dixon, meets him at the rim, gives him a Mutombo finger. Over to Ceres, down low to Grandy Glaze, has Gilligan in the corner. Gilligan throws it up and is going to get fouled. 3 free throws coming for Devin Gilligan.
Another one of those plays where the ball movement was it's just excellent to watch. Glaze could have went up underneath, but he had a man on him, so he kicked it out to the corner for the 3.
Braylon Rayson comes out, in comes Blazek. Jalen Bland also coming in for George Ceres. And so Gilligan will get 3 free throws, down by 2 points. Knocks down the first one.
I really like the rotation tonight from Logan, always having either Bland or Rayson on the court. It gives you one of the top 2 scorers in the league on the court at all times.
And still no sign of Travis Relaford, but he is on the bench and he's been engaged with players coming off. That's what a good leader does. He's talking to Braylon Rayson right now about something that happened on the court. And so it hasn't found the court yet, but we'll continue to keep an eye on the standout from Kansas University. And Devin Gilligan can give them the lead, knocks down all 3 free throws, and it's a 5 lead. It's been back and forth in this second quarter. It's really been back and forth between these teams all season long. The 4th meeting between the 2 teams. And Addison is able to knock that down an easy 2. Too much room there from that close. Blazek looking for Gilligan. The lob pass right to Anderson. Anderson sends it down the other way. Turns it right back to the Sudbury 5. And Bill Jones has a couple of choice words for his star player, Anderson, on that one.
The turnover numbers are going to be higher and higher as the season goes on. The pace keeps going up, and there's a high correlation between pace and turnover rate.
And a nice follow-up there. Dixon gets the rebound. Grandy Glaze goes left hand. Dixon sticking with it, following it up. 57-56, 2:23 left to go in this game. And Wormley takes the screen, looks for Addison, gets it over to Anderson. Anderson again knocking it down.
The defense is there. He's just that good of a shooter.
He struggled shooting in the game against the London Lightning. Struggled last time that he was here against the Sudbury 5. He's not struggling tonight. Juan Patillo with the rebound. He'll take it himself. Spin move. Gets it over to Griffiths. And Griffiths, the shot. Key it up for 3. And man, the Windsor Express have their 3-point shot working this afternoon.
Yeah, they're outscoring the Sudbury 5 by 13 this quarter, so it's definitely not a good sign so far. But I'm sure at halftime, Coach Logan's going to make the proper adjustments.
Well, this game looking a lot like the first game between the 2 teams, where it was 126 to 123, a high-scoring affair. The other games a little bit closer in terms of to the 100-point mark, a 103-91 win for Windsor on November 28th. Then 116-112 December 1st victory for the Sudbury 5. But this one has a pace in the 120s, perhaps even the 130s, as we continue to go along. Fouls are 5-5, equal there. And the Sudbury 5, their next home game will be December 15th, this Saturday. London will be in town, a team that the Sudbury 5 already beat once this season. And then it'll be a doubleheader, a Saturday, Sunday, London, Halifax. And so it's going to be Sudbury ball. 57 for Sudbury, 62 for the guest Windsor Express. Grandy Glaze inbounds it to Blazek. Sets a screen. Wormley's played, I'm pretty sure, all of the minutes so far for the Windsor Express. And Blazek is hounded by Wormley. They're going to give Wormley the foul. Blazek won't shoot. It'll be one away from bonus.
Blazek did a quick drop step there at the top of the free throw line. Wormley didn't really have much of a choice but to foul him at that point because it was a clear layup.
Grandy Glaze hands this one off to Blazek. Blazek takes a three. That one's short. And Brian Addison with the rebound. Wormley being guarded by Adam Blazek. Up top to Patillo. Patillo looking for Griffiths. Has Bland on him. A step back dribble. He'll go over to Wormley with 3 on the shot clock. Wormley's got to put it up. He does. A floater is long. And Grandy Glaze able to gobble up the rebound. Gets it up to Devin Gilligan. The up fake. Gilligan to Bland. He has some room. Steps into it. And there's a good shot from Jalen Bland.
I like that. Coming down to the last couple minutes here in the second quarter, you want to get the ball into your best player's hands.
Wormley being guarded by Grandy Glaze. Patillo has Blazek on him. He's going to take it into the post. And they're going to say he got fouled on the head, and he will shoot 2 free throws. So 33.1 seconds left to go, 62-60, and free throws coming for the Windsor Express. Juan Patillo has a load of experience, a junior at Oklahoma University. He ended up transferring to Western Kentucky as a senior. He averaged 13 points a game. He was a participant in the 2009 NCAA tournaments for that Oklahoma team that featured our brothers, who some basketball fans might know, Blake Griffin and Taylor Griffin. Well, they ended up going to an Elite 8. And he is able to knock down both free throws, extending the lead to 4 points, trying to get something for Jalen Bland. And Blazek still with the ball, under 10 to shoot on the shot clock, gets it to Glaze. Blazek has Addison all over him, goes right to the hole. Blazek can't finish with the right hand. And the Windsor Express end up turning the ball over with 6.9 seconds left to go.
Great defensive pressure there from the Sudbury 5 to force that turnover. Potentially cut this to a 1-point game at half.
And so Wormley looks like he's okay after going flying into the stands. No drink spilled, no harm done. And so Sudbury will have the last shots of this half. 6.9 seconds left. Gets it to Jalen Bland. Bland has Otley Jr. on him. Down to 3 on the clock. 1. Gets it to Glaze. Gets it off, but it's short. Bland had 2 defenders on him, hounded that entire time. And it is a 64-60 first half. The Windsor Express leading this one. So the Sudbury 5, they came out very good. A new starting lineup. But the Windsor Express showed that they have played this Sudbury 5 team very, very close.
Yeah, as you were saying, and well, really before the game started, I think in the 3 games we've played, it's within 10 points, the total score. So they're not going to go away. This team doesn't get blown out. And if we don't come out prepared in the second half, then it'll be hard to get a victory tonight.
Yeah, Reggie Hamilton, one thing that the Sudbury Five have to do is limit those 3-point opportunities. Reggie Hamilton has come out lights out. Ryan Anderson, we know what he can do beyond the arc, and he has just come in hot. So that's going to be something that the Sudbury Five are going to have to adjust as well in the second half. Where do they need to make up ground in the offensive side?
The offensive side, they simply have to start knocking down the shots. I mean, I'm really enjoying what I'm seeing from the team so far. The ball movement's been really good. So it's pretty much, if your teammate kicks the ball out to you and you're wide open, it's a shot you have to knock down. It's not going to go down every time, but it's the easiest shot you're going to get on that possession.
And the Sudbury Five as well, not able to play defense and offense as well as they did in the first quarter. And we have a 64-60 game at halftime. We'll be back very shortly with more action. Julia will be standing by as well on the court level. And we'll be back with all your third quarter action and fourth quarter action right here in Greater Sudbury. Windsor leads this one 64-60 after 2 quarters of play.
Something new, the Casper Slide Part 2, featuring the Platinum Band, and this time we're gonna get funky, 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 funky. Everybody clap your hands. Clap, 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 clap your hands. Clap, 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 clap your hands. All right, now we're gonna do the basic step. To the left, take it back now, y'all. 1 hop this time. Right foot, let's stomp. Left foot, let's stomp. Cha-cha, real smooth. Turn it out. To the left. Take it back now, y'all. 1 hop this time. Right foot, let's stomp. Left foot, let's stomp. Cha-cha now, y'all. Now it's time to get funky. To the right now. To the left. Take it back now, y'all. 1 hop this time. 1 hop this time. Right foot, 2 stumps. Left foot, 2 stumps. Slide to the left. Slide to the right. Crisscross. Crisscross. Cha-cha, real smooth. Let's go to work. To the left. Take it back now, y'all. 2 hops this time. 2 hops this time. Right foot, 2 stumps. Left foot, 2 stumps. Hands on your knees, hands on your knees. Get funky with it.
All right, guys, you ready?
Yeah.
You ready? You ready?
Come on.
You guys are ready?
Cha-cha now, y'all.
All right, I need you to help me out. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Take it back now, y'all. 5 hops this time. Right foot, let's stomp.
We got our winners right here.
Yo, Vanilla, kick it one time, boy.
Yo, VIP. Let's kick it.
Oh, yeah, we got a showdown now. We got work boots
All right,
versus
stop.
dress boots. I like it. All right, so the same thing, fellas. Now it's one-on-one.
Something grabs a hold of me tightly, flow like a harpoon.
It's one-on-one now.
Will it ever stop? Yo, I don't know. Turn off the lights and I'll glow. To the extreme, I rock a mic like a vandal. Light up a stage.
All right,
and
gentlemen,
wax a chump
same
like a
thing.
candle.
On the
Damn.
count of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
When I play a dope melody, anything less than the best is a felony. Love it or leave it. You better
Come on,
get
make some
wet.
noise. Here we go. Oh, it was so close. So close, so close. It was just a hinge off right there. That was really good. I like that. Congratulations to Julian. You qualified for the final Sudbury Hyundai Skills Challenge at the end of the season. You'll have a chance to win a new Kia Ceed.
Jump in with the bass kicked in and the Vegas all pumping. Quick to the point, no fake.
We also have some prize for you. You'll get some Sudbury 5 hat for the participating, and other 5 participants will receive a keychain. So I appreciate you guys.
I wanna rock right now. I'm Rob Bass and I came to get down. I'm not internationally known, but I'm known to rock the microphone because I get stupid. I mean outrageous. Stay away from me if you're contagious, cause I'm the winner. No, not a loser. To be an
Now we'd like to welcome to the court the Young Thunderbird Singers Drummers Group from Shishmak Health Center to close out the halftime activities. So make some noise for these awesome and talented individuals. Come on, 5 fans, make some noise for a fantastic performance. Let's hear for the Young Thunderbirds singer and drummers. That's amazing, fellas. Thank you so much.
Walk it like I talk it. 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 Hey.
Sun is down, freezing cold. That's how we already know. When it's here, my dog will probably do it for Louis Bell.
Sitting at the bottom of our division, whereas we're nice, comfortably sitting at the top. And now they lost their last game by just a few points with a score of 99-98 against those London Lightning. And we've always been very close score-wise. We only lost by a few last time. We currently have 2 wins and only 1 loss, so let's go for a 3rd win against the Windsor Express. Now I have a Sudbury 5 super fan here, Chris Cacchiotti. So I hear he is a super fan. Now tell me, how did you get into the Sudbury 5 originally?
Well, it was hard not to get into it. I'm a big fan of live basketball, and the hype that Launchpad and Sudbury Bowl Sports Entertainment and the whole organization have created around this team is absolutely insane.
And why our local boys? Why not the Raptors or any other NBA team? Why us?
Well, Sudbury, baby. Sudbury. I love the Raptors. I love going to Raptors games. I love going to 5 games, man. I'm here every home game. The energy here is hype. The players get down with the crowd, and they're down to get down with the community. So, man, it's a great fit.
So you'll be here for the doubleheader weekend next weekend against London and Halifax?
Oh, yeah.
And you should be too. Come see me and my friend Chris, the Sudbury 5 super fan, next weekend for our doubleheader, Saturday at 7 and Sunday at 2. Back up to you boys in the booth.
We ain't even make it to the room. She thought it was the ocean, it's just a boat. Now I got her open, it's just a ghost. Who put this shit together? I'm the glue. Someone said, shorty face, Tommy out the blue. Someone said,
Playing for keeps.
someone said, motherfucker, someone said.
Don't play us for we.
Astro. Yeah. Astro. Yeah. Astro. Yeah. Yeah. Hey. She's in love with who I am. Back in high school, I used to bust it to the dance. Yeah. Now I hit the FBO with duffels in my hands. I did have a 13 hours till I land. Had me out like a light, hey, like a light, hey, like a light, hey. Slept through the flight, hey, not for the night, hey. 767, man, this shit got double bedroom, man. I still got scores to settle, man. I crept down the block, made a right, yeah.
Of the Windsor Express, it is aggressive and not allowing the Sudbury 5 to get the shots that they want. They're very, very uptight on the ball. They're pressuring the ball handler very well, not allowing them to get into those sets. And then as soon as players like Jalen Bland, when you play a team this often, this many times, you get to know who the top dogs are. And Jalen Bland, clearly one of the top players in the National Basketball League of Canada. And so as soon as he catches the ball, they are up there with the pressure. They're not allowing him any room, and they're putting him about 4 or 5 feet off the three-point line, so in an uncomfortable position for Jalen Bland. So both Braylon Rayson, Jalen Bland, the top 2 scorers in this league, are combined for just 14 points in that half.
Yeah, and what I like about that is that they're not forcing shots at this point, and it shows by the total amount of shots they've taken in the game so far. So what they are doing, though, is they're trusting their teammates, and they're hoping their teammates are going to be able to step up. If they're being double-teamed, that means someone's open. So it comes down to that. We're going to have to be able to make our open shots.
And so the biggest difference, besides the defense that the Windsor Express is playing, is the shooting percentage. The Windsor Express overall in the game are shooting 55%, the Sudbury 5 45%, and it comes down to three-point shooting. Well, the Sudbury 5, they're not shooting poorly at 8 for 18. You look at the Windsor Express, they're 11 for 18. And the guy who's hit the most ever in the National Basketball League of Canada, 5 for 9 on the night for 16 points. That's Ryan Anderson.
Yeah, he's doing it again tonight. You come to kind of expect this from him every game now. It's just how deadly his shot is. The defense is there. We're guarding him up close, other than 1 or 2 shots where he's found himself able to get open. But when it comes back to the 5, they're doing the little things right. They're currently winning the points in the paint battle, 20 to 14. Points off turnovers, they're up 8 to 4. Second chance points, Sudbury's up 5 to 3. But so what I'm really seeing from this is that it's truly coming down to the fact that they're hitting their shots and we're not.
And so the Sudbury 5, they led after quarter number 1, 34 to 26. They were outscored in quarter number 2, 38 to 26. Now, these two teams, this is the 4th matchup so far this season. And even though the Sudbury 5 have won 2 and the Windsor Express have lost 1, the Windsor Express have actually outscored Sudbury by 5 points overall in the 3 games. And we're just a little delay going on. That's why you're seeing some solid crowd shots, showing you all the people attending this game here in Greater Sudbury on a Sunday afternoon. The delay as they're just fixing the mesh on the net. No, nobody has won a national championship. They're not cutting it down at this point. And so a quick fix. And they're ready to go. Looks like little hockey tape was put on there.
Whatever works, eh? Little duct tape that can fix all.
And so it will be 5-ball coming out of halftime. Corey Dixon out there with Braylon Rayson, Dexter Williams Jr., Jalen Bland, Devin Gilligan, the starters for the Sudbury 5. That's how they started the game, and Devin Gilligan has come to play. 17 points, 6 rebounds on 4 of 8 shooting, and 7 for 8 from the free throw line. So Braylon Rayson starts us off. Horace Wormley has played the entire game for the Windsor Express, number 22, guarding Rayson. Rayson right to the cup. And nobody guarding. They'll take those kind of possessions all day long.
Yeah, a little stutter step there for Braylon, and Wormley he didn't know how to handle that one.
Wormley hands it off to Ryan Anderson, who leads the Express with 16 points at halftime. And Wormley drop pass to the free throw line. It's Batillo. He hits right and bounces out. Jalen Bland gets the ball. Off a screen, Dixon. Bland takes the shot for 3. It is short. And Wormley speeding down the court, goes behind the back. Out to Amarty. Amarty cuts to the basket, goes high off the glass. Nice touch there by Amarty. Jalen Bland, a little bit of space. That's too much space. And Amarty gives him a little head acknowledgement, and they're going to have technical fouls. They're going to have to be separated. As Jalen Bland, I think he just said, you know, that's a little bit too much space. And Amarty said, you're right.
I really hope that goes both ways, because after Amarty made that one high off the glass in the last play, he was chirping the whole way down the court. So Bland, Amarty leaves him wide open for the 3, he hits it, and he says, well, you know, I got one back too, and the ref tees him up. It doesn't make sense.
And so Jalen Bland's got to be a little bit careful here. He doesn't pick up that second technical. It looks like it is just a one-sided technical foul going to Jalen Bland. Ryan Anderson gets the free throw for the Windsor Express, and he knocks it down. And so Logan Stutz getting the explanation. Braylon Rayson in there as well to have a listen. And it will be Express ball after that technical. The second technical of the game for the Sudbury 5. One came to Braylon Rayson in the first, and now to Jalen Bland in the second. It's a 67-65 point, or a 2-point lead for the Windsor Express.
The refs can only see so much. This happens a lot of times. It's just annoying to see as a fan, but oftentimes the first punch doesn't get seen. It's the retaliation that does, and I think that's what happened there.
Anderson off the screen, knocks it down, and he is now 6 for 10 shooting from beyond the arc. He is lights out. Braylon Rayson draws a couple. Nice pass to Dexter Williams Jr. He goes up. He's going to get 2 free throws. A nice find by Braylon Rayson there.
Yeah, great cut as well by Williams. And he did really good going up strong there for the layup.
And Dexter Williams Jr. knocks down number 1. 10:36, still plenty of time left to go in this third quarter. It is 70-66 for the Windsor Express. And Dexter Williams Jr. knocks that one down, knocks both down. And Wormley passes it to Amarty, over to Ryan Anderson. Dexter Williams up in his grill, drops it off to Addison, and a blocking foul going to Gilligan. Devin Gilligan there just stepping up a little bit, body on body. That's where the foul was. And possession stays with the Windsor Express. Ryan Anderson, guarded by Dexter Williams Jr., gets it into Juan Patillo. Patillo feels Devin Gilligan on the back and goes to the right side, up off glass. A nice move, a nice finish there by Patillo.
Well, and that's what happens when you pick up a quick foul like that. Gilligan's trying to stand his ground, but the way it was called on the previous possession, he can't risk getting another quick foul.
And speaking of quick foul, Dexter Williams Jr. heading back to the line. It's Anderson picking up a foul there. And
Williams is putting together an impressive game today.
And so we talked about the secondary scoring needing to be big for the Sudbury 5. Dexter Williams Jr. now in double digits. Devin Gilligan at 17 points and Grandy Glaze at 11. But the mainstayers, they've got to pick it up. Jalen Bland, Braylon Rayson on the point total for the Sudbury 5 to pull this one out. And so it is Ryan Anderson, takes a quick dribble, drops it off to Juan Patillo. He's got Devin Gilligan on him. Patillo goes to the right side, back out to Anderson. Very little room in that right side. Addison battles for it. He's on the ground. And Rayson, along with Corey Dixon. And there's going to be a foul called there to Brian Addison, who's holding Corey Dixon while on the ground.
Yeah, I think he was a bit frustrated there. He was rolling around on the ground with the ball for about what felt like a solid 10 seconds there. And then luckily for us, we came up with the ball.
And
good effort there.
The pressure continues to be full court by the Windsor Express. They did this in the first half as well. And it didn't allow the Sudbury 5 to get into their sets as well as they want to. You see it there, a double team up top. Now they get some good ball movement. Dexter Williams Jr. able to finish off from the pass from Corey Dixon. It's that initial, so Braylon Rayson is going to be trapped by 2 players. Jalen Bland has been getting trapped by 2 players. It's passing that ball around because somebody is going to be open with that double team as Amarty takes it right to the hole. Gilligan with the rebound. Has to watch Amarty. Luckily there, Bland gets a quick shot off. And Dexter Williams Jr. with the rebound. He'll head right back to the free throw line.
Williams is having one of those nights. He seems to be in the right spot at the right time every possession here. It's working out really well for us.
And so Anderson picking up a couple fouls. I believe he's at 4 now, which is big because he has been a killer for the Windsor Express against the Sudbury 5 here tonight. So in comes Angelo Griffiths. He's not too bad of a three-point shooter either. 2 for 3 in the first half, 10 points. He was tied with DeAndre Thomas for the second leading scorers for the Windsor Express. Dexter Williams Jr. at the free throw line can tie it up here. He does. 72-72. Wormley to Patillo. Patillo up top. Couple screens, couple cuts. Wormley gets it back, and Patillo down low. Steps back on the left side and misses that one. Kind of a combination of glass and rim there. And Jalen Bland now. Dexter Williams Jr. up top, gets it over to Braylon Rayson. He jacks it up from downtown. And that's about as smooth of a shot as you're gonna see. Goes straight down, Braylon Rayson.
I really like the shot attempt there. That was perfect. They kicked it out to him, and he was pretty much wide open for even half a second, but that's all he needs to get off that shot.
And the defense, for once, wasn't right up on him, kind of sagging off a little bit, and a case of hand down, man down, as Braylon Rayson able to hit the three. That one well off a breeze. I felt that breeze.
Yeah, we could feel that all the way up here.
As that one's going to be out of bounds, and the Sudbury 5 get the ball back. Devin Gilligan comes back to help out Braylon Rayson, who's getting pressure from Wormley. Looking inside for Corey Dixon. Gilligan spins back to his right hand, puts it up. What a move, what a touch. Oh my goodness, Devin Gilligan, right-handed wonder.
He didn't have a lot of room to work with there either. His footwork was just beautiful. He drove left, spin back right, and had the wide open layup.
Yeah, as soon as he put that ball left hand, then he felt the body, and as soon as he span, he got the body on his backside, enough room to put it up. Still a very difficult shot attempt to make for Devin Gilligan, but boy, he's come to play. He's up over 20 points now, I believe, for the Sudbury 5 on the afternoon. And that insertion into the starting lineup has been brilliant for the Sudbury 5. That was a quick timeout by the Windsor Express. Head coach Bill Jones, as the Sudbury 5 have come out in this third quarter with almost a revamped effort, a little bit more alive than they were in that second quarter.
And a lot of that comes down to coaching. Logan Stutz, I'm sure he went over it at halftime with his team, but they tend to see things that as fans you're not necessarily aware that are happening. But, you know, when we were down 4 at halftime, to come out in a quick couple minutes here and be back up 5, it's really impressive.
And so 77-72 in favor of the 5.
And I think we're going to see here in the second half, too, Bland and Braylon Rayson be a lot more aggressive on the offensive end. They didn't try getting up too many shot attempts in the first half, but you'll see that often. They want to get their other teammates going first, knowing that they can turn the switch in the second half.
And Corey Dixon, another player who's been big for the Sudbury 5 lately. First half, 7 points. Was 7 of 12 shooting and 18 points against St. John. So he's really stepped up, filled up that 3 spot, that forward spot for the Sudbury 5 in there. Addison wide open. His shot is going to bounce off the top of the backboard and come out. And Devin Gilligan has it almost stripped. Nice pass by Bland. Out to Rayson in the corner, just rims out. Dexter Williams Jr. had an opportunity at the putback, couldn't get it to go. Rayson was just about outside of the court on that one at his tippy toes, inside the realm of play.
Yeah, if his heels went down, I think he would have been out of bounds.
Richard Amarty, up fake, goes to the cup, and it's going to be a blocking call to Dexter Williams Jr., so Amarty will shoot 2.
I guess he was moving on that because it looked like he was planted outside the restricted area.
And out comes Dexter Williams Jr. In comes Grandy Glaze for the Sudbury 5. And Richard Amarty heads to the free throw line.
Yeah, there's a good chance we won't see Dexter Williams again this quarter as he picks up his 4th foul there.
Richard Amarty, born in Toronto, raised in Scarborough, played 1 season for the Oregon Ducks, and played for the Canadian Senior Men's National Team 2017 FIBA AmeriCup with Grandy Glaze, who is also out there for the Sudbury 5. Devin Gilligan. Jalen Bland looking for it. Inside to Grandy Glaze. Now they're going to set a screen with 10 on the shot clock. Glaze has it. Down low to Corey Dixon. Dixon takes one dribble. Nice pull-up shot right in the face of DeAndre Thomas.
Glaze is such a smart player. He just had that beautiful kick out to the wide open man there to create that basket.
Wormley over to Richard Amarty. He jacks it up, knocks it down. Richard Amarty. And Richard Amarty had a couple words for some fans after that shot. Jalen Bland sizing him up. Takes the shot, that's short, gonna go out of bounds towards the Sudbury 5 bench. It's been back and forth, there's been some talking, and as to be expected with teams who have played each other now 4 times in the season, you're gonna see, some players you like, some players you don't, especially how close these games have been.
Absolutely, and a lot of times when you see players this often from the team you're playing so much in 1 month, the emotions do tend to get the better of you sometimes.
And so Angelo Griffiths, the ref steps in, says that's enough on the talking.
Let them play. They're having a good time out there.
We're having a good time. It's the crowd's having a good time. 79-77, another close one. Every game so far here in Sudbury has been close, exciting, down to the wire. And play resumes. Angelo Griffins goes inside to Thomas, and as soon as Thomas grabs the ball, Devin Gilligan there, he picks up a foul.
It was a good foul. Thomas, within 6 feet there, you can't let him take even one step lower. He's going to make the basket.
And the Sudbury 5 caught napping there. Richard Amarty is able to hit that 3 and gives the Windsor Express the lead once again. Devin Gilligan right to the basket. He's going to get fouled and head back to the free throw line. Devin Gilligan with a head of steam coming down that lane and goes left hand.
He's playing like an all-star tonight. He picked that ball up just over the half-court line. And he looked down the court and just beeline straight to the net, seeing that the lane was open.
Devin Gilligan knocks down number 1. We're tied 80-80 with 5:32 left to go here in this third period. It's Addison with the rebound as Gilligan can't hit shot number 2. Inside to DeAndre Thomas, back and down, puts it up, that one's short. George Suarez can't get it. Angelo Griffiths gets it back. In the corner, it's Wormley, has the shot blocked. Nice closeout there by Corey Dixon. Braylon Rayson back the other way. Finds Suarez in the corner, he puts it up. That one is long. And the trio of Express players there to pick up the rebound. And Wormley, a good look there by George Suarez. The oop is up. And Amarty throwing it down.
I don't like to compliment them too much, but that was definitely a nice play.
Jalen Bland up top for the Sudbury 5. 4:32 left to go. Rayson splits the defense. And it's stolen back on the other way. It's Griffiths. Up top to Amarty going for alley-oop number 2. Can't put it down. And back the other way come the Sudbury 5. Corey Dixon underneath the net. Out to Grandy Glaze. He's going to get fouled and head to the free throw line for 2.
What I really liked about that was Thomas picked up another quick foul. So he's sitting at 4 now on the night. Their coach is going to have to make a decision here what they want to do with him at this point.
And Reggie Hamilton comes in for the first time in the second half. Reggie Hamilton off the bench, 2 for 4 from the three-point line, 3 for 5 overall with 8 points in 9 minutes of play. Grandy Glaze, the first free throw is no good. And Glaze the league leader in rebounds per game at 17, or had 17 last game. He's had 12.5 on the season.
And I'm really not sure if I've ever even heard of a player coming off the bench leading a league in rebounding. That stat alone is so impressive and speaks volumes to his ability on the court.
Corey Dixon up to Braylon Rayson. He jacks up a quick three, knocks it down, a 5-4-3, gives the 5 a lead. And the crowd is alive once again, 84-82. This game has been an entire game of back and forth affair. Griffiths looking inside to Addison, back out to Wormley. He takes a shot, that one's long, and Corey Dixon picks up the big board. Corey Dixon back the other way. Braylon Rayson across to Devin Gilligan, inside to Grandy Glaze. Glaze, Thomas not giving him any respect, doesn't play him outside, knocks it down.
Yeah, Thomas really just left him wide open there. It looked like he, whether he didn't have the energy or the effort, he just didn't even bother to step up on Grandy for the shot. Great help defense there by Rayson. Grandy was standing his ground as Thomas was driving, and Rayson just swiped down at the ball.
And so the lead up to 4 points now for the Sudbury 5. And the ball will go out of bounds underneath the Sudbury 5 net. 8 seconds left on the shot clock. And so they'll have to get something quick. The Windsor Express will. Looking for Addison there on the alley-oop. Addison has some room. They're going to give it to him. And he misses the easy deuce. And Braylon Rayson has 2 on him. Gets it out to Corey Dixon. Dixon. Reggie Hamilton reaches in, gets him on the arm there.
I like what Dixon was doing there, going straight at Thomas, trying to get him to pick up that 5th foul.
Juan Patillo coming back in for Brian Addison, and that'll be the penalty for the Windsor Express. They have 7 fouls with 2:45 left to go in this third quarter of action. It seems like every quarter has been a high foul affair. And the second one does not go for Corey Dixon. Reggie Hamilton, 2 for 4 from the 3-point line, has Devin Gilligan on him. Gets it inside, DeAndre Thomas. Going up with the right hand, does not fall. And it's going to be Express basketball going off Corey Dixon.
That was another one of those calls there. I agree with Dixon. It appeared to go off the other team, but well, the 89 ref doesn't agree.
DeAndre Thomas gets an opportunity, has it bounce off his shoulder, it looked like, and it comes back to the Sudbury 5 to Devin Gilligan on the run, right-handed finish. Devin Gilligan, boy, has he stepped up and come to play.
Oh, he's been as cool as the other side of the pillow tonight. He just had a little finesse there on that finishing layup.
Wormley. Up to Reggie Hamilton. DeAndre Thomas has played off and on in the National Basketball League of Canada since 2011. From Chicago, Illinois. And Devin Gilligan can't knock that one down. That would have sent the place crazy. The bench was up ready to celebrate that three. Doesn't go in. Hamilton takes it to the basket. He's going to get fouled, and a hard foul.
Really, hard fouls are the only type of fouls you should be making when a player gets that close underneath the basket, because the last thing you want to do is give them the and one.
Reggie Hamilton, also from Chicago, Illinois, averaging over 10 points a game on the season. Corey Dixon, who had a great shift there, heads out for the Sudbury 5. Back comes Jalen Bland. And so Reggie Hamilton, George Soros out there for the Sudbury 5, along with Grandy Glaze, Devin Gilligan, Braylon Rayson, and Jalen Bland. It is a 7-point lead for the Sudbury 5 with 1:39 left to go here in this third quarter. And Ceres has an opening and use the screen. There was 2 players for the 5-on-1. And now they're just going to slow it down. Braylon Rayson looking for a screen from Ceres. Has 2 on him. Ceres open up top. Rayson, the very deep 3. That one is short. And Reggie Hamilton up on him. And Griffiths. Angelo Griffiths gives it to Reggie Hamilton. 1:12 left to go in the third. Hamilton up top. He's going to shoot, and he misses just short. And we're going to have a foul coming to the Sudbury 5.
I'm not really sure, but the eye test pretty much has the one ref making all the calls against the Sudbury 5 tonight. Perhaps there's too many potholes in the city or something. I'm not sure what it is, but...
Devin Gilligan subs out. And in comes Alexander Henry, who also played at Laurentian University, and Grandy Glaze runs over Reggie Hamilton. Kind of an inadvertent play, but they're going to call that one as Grandy Glaze was just trying to pick up a man, and Hamilton and him collided. Glaze a little bit bigger.
Grandy wasn't even looking at the player. He ran into the side of him and fell down.
And so Devin Gilligan is going to come back in. Alexander Henry leaves. And Reggie Hamilton knocks down number 1, 89-84. 1:04 left in this third quarter. Reggie Hamilton gets 2 of 2. And the pressure continues. Braylon Rayson has 2 on him. Gets it to Ceres. They got to get it over half. Glaze will just slow it down, try and find his point guard, Braylon Rayson. Ceres out for 3. He's open, knocks it down. A second 3. It's a 5-4 3, and the Sudbury native making the hometown faithful proud with that one. 6 points on the night for George Ceres. Inside, Patillo's going to get fouled. And it's either Grandy Glaze or Devin Gilligan there. And Gilligan is going to be the one picking up the foul, and he's in foul trouble, as many players are tonight, or to this afternoon, sorry.
And Ceres pretty much just did exactly what you and me were talking about at halftime. Is we need other players to step up and hit the open shots, and Ceres just got himself down in the corner there, waited for the ball, and took the nice shot.
Well, how players like George get that added playing time is exactly that, knocking down those open shots when you're called upon. Obviously, the offense is going to run through Braylon Rayson and Jalen Bland, but they're going to have to swing to someone, and you want those players to be able to knock it down in the corner. There's Ceres again, and Ceres misses, but Grandy Glaze picks up the rebound. Spin move through 2 players and gets it up and in. Grandy Glaze with a big rebound. You can see why he is leading this league in rebounding.
Yeah, his effort doesn't stop out there, and rebounding, as much as it is effort, it's a skill as well, knowing what angles to go based on where the shot's coming up, and Grandy seems to have an excellent understanding of that.
And as the shot clock winds down, the game clock winds down, no basket for the Windsor Express. And boy, the Sudbury 5 came to play in that third quarter. They now lead 94-86. At halftime, it was 64-60. So the Sudbury 5 score 34 in that quarter. And we're in for a high-scoring affair for sure.
Yeah, being at 94 after 3 quarters is really impressive. And the offense outscored Windsor by, 12 points in that third quarter. So that's really impressive too, and it shows that the coach knew exactly what he was talking about at halftime with the adjustments that they made.
Well, you're right. The offense picked up for the Sudbury 5. The defense kind of stayed the same. They weren't playing bad. They were just being outscored by the Windsor Express offense. I mean, Ryan Anderson, you got him into foul trouble. That was huge because he was killing you in that first half, knocking down some huge threes. Had 16 points in that first half. I don't think he scored in that second or the third quarter.
Yeah, and really with Anderson and Thomas doing so well tonight, They both picked up their 4th fouls now. Thomas might have even gotten to 5th. I can't recall. But it's really going to limit what their coach is able to do in the 4th here, because you need those players in the closing minutes of the game.
So the Sudbury 5 with 1 quarter left to play. They're a big 94-86. And now it's about closing it out, as we saw the last time these two teams met. A very tightly contested 4th quarter. The Sudbury 5, I believe, needed a late comeback, and were led by Jalen Bland and Braylon Rayson, huge down the stretch. They did their damage in this 3rd quarter, and Devin Gilligan has been the X factor in this game.
Yeah, what a performance tonight by Gilligan. He's really stepped up when other players weren't able to. With the amount of defense that they've been playing on Bland and Rayson tonight, it leaves someone else on the court open. Anytime you're double teamed, someone's open. And Bland and Rayson are doing the smart thing. They're not forcing shots. They don't have high shot totals, but they're taking what they're given. And the fact that Gilligan had such a strong first half, it's only allowed Bland and Rayson to be able to pick it up in the 3rd quarter more, because Gilligan's helping keeping the defense honest.
It'll be Express ball to start us off in this 4th quarter. 12 minutes left to play, or perhaps more. We went to overtime on Thursday against St. John. And the shot wide open, knocks it down, is Anthony Otley Jr. He started the last time these two teams met in Sudbury. A limited playing time tonight, but comes off the bench and knocks down his first points of the game. Grandy Glaze, he'll jack it up from the elbow extended. George Ceres, in 4 players, is able to somehow come away with that ball, gets it out to Jalen Bland. He hits the side of the backboard, and they're out and running. It's Griffiths. Griffiths knocking it down for the easy layup, and it's now a 3-point game just like that.
Yeah, it's a game of runs, and unfortunately for us, in the first minute here of the 4th quarter, the other team's been knocking down their shots.
Great extra pass there by George Ceres to Jalen Bland. Ball movement is key, and it was there. Blazek to Glaze, out to Ceres, who gets it to the hot hand, Jalen Bland. He knocks it down for a 5-4-3. And Bland is wide open again. Can he do it one more time? Just off the rim. And Thomas, a nice read there by Dexter Williams Jr., like a safety in football, picks it off. And Grandy Glaze gets the foul, but what a defensive play by Dexter Williams Jr. Read that pass from DeAndre Thomas that entire way.
Yeah, Thompson kind of telegraphed that one. He knew exactly what he was doing, and he just stepped in at the half-court line. Also stayed avoiding the over and back call, and then we were able to come down.
And it's the old, advice, fake a pass to make a pass. And that's the opposite of what Thomas did there. We look at the stats. Ryan Anderson leading the way for the Windsor Express. He's in foul trouble at 4, so I'm sure we'll see him at some point early in this 4th quarter, but he's got 20 points. And there is 5 players in double-digit scoring for the Windsor Express. And Brian Addison just on the outside with 9 points. But on the other side, Devin Gilligan, 22 points and his 1 rebound off a double-double with 9 rebounds. But you got to be careful. He's got 5 personal fouls. And so that's why he's not out there right now. Grandy Glaze, 16 points, 8 rebounds. And the entire starting lineup is in double-digit figures for the Sudbury 5. DeAndre Thomas, big rebound, a couple rebounds, puts it up. And just does what any good big man does, and that's keep the ball up high. You're not going to be able to knock it free there. As soon as he brings it down, then those hands start to come in and swipe away.
Yeah, coaches really stress that when it comes to big men. You never want to bring the ball down. And what they'll do in practice is they'll actually take paddles, and they'll just, if you bring that down, they're going to swipe it down on your hand just to keep reminding you, do not bring that ball down. Thomas had 4 defenders surrounding them there and just did an excellent job, as you said, of keeping it up.
And Thomas is going to head out. Anderson now back in for the Windsor Express. And the Sudbury 5, who were shooting 45 points at halftime, are now up to 49. And an easy slice through the middle there. Addison takes the pass from Griffiths. And it's 98-95 for Sudbury. That one goes off. An Express player. And not a good third quarter for the Windsor Express, just 26.1% shooting. They're down to 44% on the game overall after being at 55% coming into the third quarter. Bland, now we're starting to see that defense from the first half of the Windsor Express. That one tipped off of the foot, 6 seconds left. And a great defensive effort there by Griffiths. He's able to poke the ball out, or it goes off of Bland out of bounds.
It's another one. It was on the other side of the court, but I just don't really understand how that would have been off him if the ball was poked out.
Up top, Ryan Anderson to Griffiths, looking for Patillo. Patillo, the 2-point shot. That one is short, and a nice board there by Dixon. Dixon gets it to Bland. Has Dexter Williams Jr., but he is stepping out of bounds. And a turnover for the Sudbury 5. And so the turnover means the Express get the ball. 98-95, 9:06 left to go in this fourth quarter. It's Griffiths up top, gives the up fake. Anderson open. It's either a right in or a well long for Anderson tonight. And Braylon Rayson, nice bounce back to Dexter Williams Jr. Left hand, reverse. Nice play there. Great pass from Braylon Rayson. Ryan Anderson up top. Warmly crossover to the left. And in the hands of Dexter Williams Jr. He's got Ryan Anderson right behind him. Gives it to Braylon Rayson. Down low, had Glaze, but Patillo read that the whole way. And Grandy Glaze gets back on defense. Patillo goes over top of him with the right hand. A defense to offense from Juan Patillo there.
Yeah, he was pretty calm and collected on that possession there. He was kind of moving in slow motion, so I wasn't sure he was going to make that one or not.
Rayson sweeps by to the right side, steps back for the 2, knocks it down. And that's 100 points for the Sudbury 5. Wormley finds Patillo, an easy 2 there, and he misses. Juan Patillo has struggled. As we mentioned, the last 2 games against the Sudbury 5 had 24 points against the London Lightning on Thursday. A foul call there. Corey Dixon receiving the pass gets held on to from behind. And Devin Gilligan comes back in for the Sudbury 5. 22 points on the night, but 5 fouls, so he's got to be careful down the stretch. 7:40. And his type of game kind of leads to some fouls, playing aggressive on defense and offense.
Yeah, and with the way the refs have been calling the game too, you can't really be aggressive on defense tonight. Well, at least the 5 can't. But Gilligan's going to have to be very careful out there.
Braylon Rayson up top, Wormley on him with 2 on the clock. That one well downtown, bounces. Dexter Williams Jr. has it bounced just over his hands. And Angelo Griffiths trying to find Ryan Anderson. He does, and he is fouled. A reach in there. And Jalen Bland picks up the foul. Inside Dixon, DeAndre Thomas, and Gilligan, there it is. Looked like he was pretty well straight up, but they're going to call him for the foul. That's the 6th personal foul on Devin Gilligan. He'll leave the game.
I'm not really sure what to say on that one. It looked like excellent defense to me. His arms were both straight up.
A tough one to call because, I mean, that's the one that sends him out of the game.
Yeah, absolutely, especially with 7 minutes left here in the 4th. Definitely a tough one to call.
It doesn't take away from the fact that Devin Gilligan had himself a heck of a ball game. 22 points he finishes with, and 1 rebound shy of a double-double, as DeAndre Thomas, who was the person who picked up or got the foul on from Devin Gilligan, he's heading to the free throw line, and he'll shoot 2. The second one is no good. As the crowd really getting into this one with 7:07 left to go. George Ceres pulls up from 3, and that one is just a bit too long. Good look from Ceres. Just couldn't knock it down. He's 2 for 4 now from beyond the arc. 2 for 5, sorry. Patillo at the free throw line. Up fake, that one short. And Jalen Bland with the rebound. Braylon Rayson has to come back to the ball for that. Rayson has Wormley on his left side, goes right to the hole. And that is an absolute perfect example of just how to use the body. Goes into what they call the trees, much bigger players, and he just hits that body right into the much bigger Patillo.
Yeah, absolutely. And what Patillo did there was the same thing Gilligan did. So I was kind of expecting an and one call, but unfortunately it wasn't made.
Braylon Rayson. We said it, all the starters for the Sudbury Five are in double digits. And Corey Dixon going to the hoop. And he's going to shoot 2. DeAndre Thomas picks up the foul. And so the Sudbury Five have a little discussion what they're going to do on defense on the way back. Corey Dixon heading to the free throw line. And Dixon knocks down number 1. There's number 2 for Corey Dixon. And the last couple of games, Corey Dixon has been huge for the Sudbury Five. Got great size, is able to guard multiple positions on defense. Anderson open for 3, rattles around, and that one is tipped in. Addison. If you're fans of the NBA, it's a bit different. They use FIBA rules for goaltending, so if it's on the rim, you can go ahead and touch it. You can knock it off. Braylon Rayson responds right away. 108-102, and 5:33 left to go here in this fourth quarter. Wormley to the basket, gets it to Addison. Addison puts it up, and Ryan Anderson the rebound and puts it right back in for the Express, and they are not going away. George Ceres has Richard Amarty on him. Gets it back up top to Braylon Rayson. The much longer Ryan Anderson now guarding Rayson. And so they'll go inside to Corey Dixon. He sweeps through to the left side. Drop pass to George Ceres. Dexter Williams Jr. trying to find someone, and a 3 in the key call. Ceres had an opportunity to go up. I would have said to probably go up. You might draw a foul call there and head to the free throw line.
Yeah, I would have preferred that as well, just simply because you're forcing the refs to make a call for you, and being that close to the basket, it's a tough decision to make.
A nice drop pass by Corey Dixon right underneath to George Ceres. And on top of that, you have the shot clock winding down, so you kick it out. Then you really have to scramble to find something good, a good look. So 108-104 here in Greater Sudbury. The Five outscored the Windsor Express 34-22 in the third quarter to get the lead back. They led after 1, trailed at halftime, led after the third, and now they have a 4-point lead. And so the Sudbury Five looking for at least one victory this weekend. They are tied with the London Lightning for first in their division at 8 points, 4 wins for the Sudbury Five, 4-2 on the season. Looking for win number 5 and trying to avoid loss number 3. They're 2-1 at home as well.
Yeah, Windsor's been playing a really good game tonight. I'm really impressed with what they've been doing. I'd still have to say the first star would go out to number 89 so far this game. The way he's been calling it has been phenomenal for them.
And so these two teams won't meet, at least here in Sudbury, again until Thursday, January 17th. So a little bit of a break from the two teams. The next home games we mentioned, London's in town next Saturday. And then another 2:05 start. The Halifax Hurricanes are here Sunday, December 16th. The Halifax Hurricanes and London Lightning have been doing battle in the championships for this league the last couple seasons. And Ryan Anderson now with the ball here in Sudbury. Drops it to Addison. That shot those a tip in there by Griffiths, a nice tip in. And he's a bit fired up. But those short 2-point shots that we saw fall for the Windsor Express's Brian Addison and Juan Patillo in the at least first game that they were here and on the road are just not falling here this afternoon. Nice backdoor cut. Dexter Williams Jr. gets fouled. A smart play by the Express player as he had an easy layup, but a beautiful pass by, I believe, Corey Dixon. As all Dexter Williams Jr. did was cut out like he was going to catch it at the 3. The Windsor Express player bit on that, and he went right back door. Something that the coaching staff of the Sudbury Five will love, and something on the other side that head coach Bill Jones of the Express will absolutely hate.
Yeah, the pass to split the defense there was really nice. I think it was Grandy Glaze that made the pass, but there was 2 defenders, and Williams just saw them both go up, so he cut baseline, and they dropped the ball down low, and he probably would have had a good chance at making the basket, but he got hit in the head pretty hard there.
And Wormley, after the free throws, it is 110-106. Wormley looking for a screen from Addison, trying to do it himself. Clock is winding down. Amarty out to Addison with 4 on the clock. A floater, no good from Griffiths, and it's going to go out of bounds, or a foul is going to be called to Griffiths. And a push from behind on the rebound. So that is the 5th team foul for the Windsor Express with 3:56 left to go here in this 4th quarter. They're 2 away from the bonus.
You got to keep attacking the basket here on offense, because once we can get those fouls up to 7, then we'll be shooting free throws every time they foul after that.
Braylon Rayson for 3, 5, 4, 3, knocks it down. And the lead extends to 7 for the Sudbury Five on the back of Braylon Rayson.
Yeah, forget what I said on that one. Just give the ball to that man. He can make a better decision than I can.
A bit surprised that, they've changed up the defensive philosophies the Windsor Express have in this second half. You notice in the first, and especially that second quarter where they had their best success, they were pressuring the ball full court and not allowing Braylon Rayson to do something just like that, where he's able to dribble pretty much right to the 3-point line and knock it down.
The problem with going full court is it takes so much energy out of your team. So it's one of those things where you kind of got to gamble on it. And if you want to bring it out that early in a game, then chances are you're not going to be able to do it in the 4th. Otherwise, it's going to affect your offense.
An absolutely massive block by Corey Dixon as DeAndre Thomas tried to float one up. And out of the skies, it was picked out by Corey Dixon. And an and one there as Corey Dixon goes down hard. Looked like he kind of got an elbow up from the much bigger DeAndre Thomas. And Corey Dixon stays down.
To me, it appeared to be a pretty clear offensive foul. He just Thomas got the ball, pushed it right into Dixon's head, and then they called the foul on Dixon. So
he had he had his ground established outside of the circle, the restricted area. However, it's kind of scary when you see 295 pounds coming down at you, so he might have backed off a little bit. Did take an elbow to the head, that's for sure. And so he's getting an explanation from the ref right now. DeAndre Thomas will head to the free throw line for the 1 extra. The ref actually called for two shots, but it was an and one. And both teams picked up on that. We're going to have a timeout called in a 113-109 game. And would you look at the Sudbury Five to kind of slow down the pace of play, at least on offense here in the last couple minutes?
Absolutely. The time on the clock becomes your friend at this point in the game. Being up 4 at home, you're gonna want to make them exert as much energy on the defensive end as they can. So by swinging the ball around, you can really do that. Plus, you can take more time off the clock, which brings us that much closer to a victory.
It's obvious. I mean, it's going to depend on what the Windsor Express give you on offense. If they're going to play you full court and you're able to get out of a double team to something easy down low, sure, you take it early in the clock. But like you said, if you're able to move the ball around, kill, about 14, 15 seconds, you want to maybe shoot around 10 seconds left on the clock. That second best look that you get, you might be open that first time that you come down the floor, but if you swing it around, you might get an equally good shot, plus take 10 seconds off the clock. So 2:58 remains here in Greater Sudbury. The 4-2 Sudbury Five lead the 1-5 Windsor Express, 113 to 109. And we are back for action. 8 games in December, the Sudbury Five. This is game number 3.
And the fans have really been rewarded again with a 4-point game the last couple minutes here. It's really awesome to see. The energy level has just been excellent tonight as well.
And so Grandy Glaze has the full baseline to work with, and they are putting that full pressure on. Grandy Glaze has to go and get over half. He's got to pass it. And he finally does make it over half. Great defensive pressure and a foul on Anderson from behind. And Ryan Anderson, I believe that will be number 5 on the all-time leading 3-point shooter in league history. He's up there as well in a multitude of categories. Points, games played, rebounds. In his first season with the Windsor Express, as a former member of the London Lightning, and actually the only returning player.
Yeah, I like this a lot right now. Shot clock all the way down to 4 seconds before we get a shot up.
And there you go, a foul deep in the clock as the crossover. Jalen Bland goes right to the basket, throws it up with the left hand. Can't make it, but he will shoot 2. Addison comes out. DeAndre Thomas comes back in. And so the only returning player is actually Anthony Otley Jr., only returning player to the Express this season. Third season in the league, hasn't played a whole lot of minutes. It's because the new addition of Angelo Griffiths has taken up a lot of those minutes. You see number 32 alone down in the far corner. Got to keep an eye on him if it's a long rebound. It is a rebound. Anderson had him for a second. And Griffiths still nobody on him. Inside, DeAndre Thomas. A triple team comes. He passes it out to Griffiths. Griffiths takes that dribble with 10 on the clock. And Thomas down low. He'll knock it in. But a great job by the Sudbury Five for the most part on defense. Killing a lot of clock on that one. It's a 3-point ball game with the 5 in possession. Grandy Glaze up top, going to town on Thomas. He throws it too far, and it's an over and back on the Sudbury Five. A turnover in a 3-point game. That's a big one.
Is it an over and back, though? I'm not sure on that. I don't think he touched the ground. He jumped over the line and then threw it back into the court, so it's a tough call to make either way.
It appeared to me that Rayson, his first step was on the other side of the court before he jumped. So, I mean, it was a tough pass for him to handle. It was high up over his head, and he had to try and make a scramble as you get a look at it right there.
Yeah, like you said, if he took a step or even touched the line before he touched the ball when it was thrown over the half-court line, then it would be over and back. But I enjoy being a bit biased, so...
That's fine. That's you're more than welcome to do so. The Sudbury Five, the home squad, lead 114-111. Fouls, 7 for the Windsor Express, 4 for the Sudbury Fives.
I'd really like to see us take advantage of that. They haven't 7 fouls in the quarter right now. We got to drive as much as possible here. Like keep letting the clock tick down with a 3-point lead, but I'd like to see the final play be a drive.
Well, exactly what Jalen Bland did on that last possession as the clock was ticking down. Normally would shoot the 3, but decided to go in, draw the foul, got to the free throw line, unfortunately missed one of the free throws. But it will be Express ball. They are down 3, 1:58 left to go in this fourth quarter. We've got another good one here in Greater Sudbury. If the supper is cooking, turn it down to low heat and let it simmer for a bit longer. DeAndre Thomas, he's going to pick up some free throws as Corey Dixon reaches in with the foul.
I like the fouls on Thomas there, but it's unfortunately for us, he's been shooting the free throws pretty well tonight. I think he's 4-6 right now.
And we'll see if that keeps up as they're going to play defense, offense, as Addison will be coming in for DeAndre Thomas. Once he makes or misses, if he misses, it works in favor of the Sudbury Five because then you don't get him to sub out on the second one, that is. It's good that he missed on the first one, though, as well.
What a great foul. I was saying that before, and I'm saying it again now.
Sometimes the ball doesn't just lie, you know? And so Thomas, the second free throw is good, so he will get the sub. It's a 2-point game with 1:47 left to go. And Sudbury 5 ball, again, the full court pressure. A trap comes early. Jalen Bland looking up court now. He's one-on-one with Wormley. And they're going to set something up. A high screen and roll, and Bland losing it out of bounds. That's a big turnover. DeAndre Thomas comes back in for Addison, who played some pretty good defense there on Jalen Bland.
We really got to do a better job at taking care of the ball in crunch time right now. We can't be having those type of turnovers with 1:30 on the clock in a 2-point game.
Well, the Windsor Express trail now by 2 points, and they have possession. Wormley up top. It's Wormley looking in the corner. It's Anderson who's knocked down a number of clutch threes here this afternoon. Not that one, however. And Braylon Rayson takes a screen from Grandy Glaze. Rayson has an opening down low to Dexter Williams Jr.
Yeah.
And the foul.
What a great play that was. He was cutting baseline and he just stepped right in underneath the basket. The pass had to be perfect, and it really was.
And that's what Braylon Rayson is looking for. He cuts in the middle. There's all this chaos going on, and he's still got his head up and the awareness to drop it off to a cutting Dexter Williams Jr. That's what he's looking for, and Braylon Rayson at a last resort will look for that shot, but he's looking to facilitate, 4th in the league, 6.2 assists a game, and he has over that total here this afternoon, and the league is stretched back up to a 5-point game after that one. And a great effort by Dexter Williams Jr. Picks it off to Rayson, and he can't finish. Grandy Glaze, that's why he leads the league in rebounds, folks. Grandy Glaze, the follow-up, and it's a 7-point game. Reggie Hamilton, look at the defense, and almost an over and back. It's Wormley up top. Wormley against Braylon Rayson, he puts it up and one. Response, Express.
89 again, eh? Okay, yeah, I mean, he tried to sidestep and there was a player planted there and he happened to rub hips with him, so I guess it's a foul.
And so Wormley heads to the free throw line for one extra. It's a 5-point game. He can make it a 4-point game. Still won't be a one-possession game with 43.8 seconds left to go here in this fourth quarter of action.
Yeah, that was one thing that was great about that possession was we really made them waste a lot of time on the clock with our defense.
And so with 42-point-something seconds left, nice pass, Dexter Williams Jr. from Jalen Bland. And Williams Jr. picking up where Devin Gilligan left off, stepping up, filling that role that needs to be filled. And that one is going to go out of bounds off Wormley. The crowd fired up, the bench fired up, we're fired up.
Oh, yeah.
And the Sudbury 5, 121-115.
Great basketball tonight. We've really been treated with this one. We just have so many high IQ players, and when it comes to that back-to-back layups, we're just beating them down the court right now, and our players are finding them on the drives.
And Jalen Bland, the bounce pass over to Dexter Williams Jr. They're going to play the foul game. That one is stolen. Reggie Hamilton going to pull up for three, knocks it down. Reggie Hamilton makes this a three-point game as Jalen Bland has it stolen, or Braylon Rayson, sorry, had it stolen. And Reggie Hamilton back the other way. It will be 5-ball and a three-point game. They will have an opportunity because it looks like unless the Express steal it again, they'll have a chance to go to the free throw line to make it a two-possession game.
Yeah, we've been shooting pretty well from the free throw line tonight, so I'm confident in our guys' ability to do that. I think after 3 quarters, we were 22 of 28, so it's only 6 missed and 8 shots. I'd like to see this go to 5, but even if it goes to 4, we're still looking pretty good.
Well, you got to give this Windsor Express team some credit, and in terms of Ryan Anderson, Reggie Hamilton, Wormley leading the charge for this team. And again, they held Juan Patillo to a terrible shooting percentage coming into that fourth quarter. He was 1 for 8 with just 6 points. So they did a marvelous job on Juan Patillo, one of their top scorers. Now, Richard Amarty had a great game as well for this team, but will it be? It might not be enough as the Windsor Express trail this one by 3. It's only 12.8 seconds left to go. The Sudbury 5 will advance it into the front court and look for a quick foul coming from the Windsor Express. And so Dexter Williams Jr. is going to inbound it, gets it to Braylon Rayson. Braylon Rayson dribbles around, and Grandy Glaze goes to help him up, tumbles in. We have a 5 pileup. Grandy Glaze luckily is okay there, laughs it off a little bit, and Grandy Glaze is going to do the work for him.
Does a little bit of everything out there. Oh, he's getting the crowd going with that one.
It doesn't matter where this guy is going to play next year and beyond. He is a fan favorite wherever he goes. Just the attitude, the smile, the passion that he plays the game with. It's infectious, and these are the kind of players you love to have on the team because, you know, in practice, 10, 12, 14 games into the season, you're getting tired, you're banged up, you're injured, and someone like that walks in with a smile on his face. It brightens the mood in practice, brightens the mood when you might be on a 1-2 game losing streak.
Yeah, it really is special, and especially with this team being in their first year, players like that, they bring a camaraderie to the players because they all respect his effort on every single possession.
Well, Wormley is going to get fouled for 3, nearly and 1, as Wormley is going to head to the free throw line for 3 of them. It's a 123-118 game with 8.6 seconds left, and all that happened in 4 seconds after that timeout. And so Wormley can make this a 1-possession game. He can make it as close as 2 points with all 3 free throws, and he's been pretty good hitting those free throws on the season.
I love racing and everything he does. It's just hard to see a player trying to block someone at the three-point line because it's so rarely successful. It's so rare that you see someone be blocked at the three-point line. You'd rather just see them stay down try to disrupt their shot by just having a hand up.
Especially this late in the game, it's a 2-possession game. They hit that 3, no big deal. He ends up hitting all 3 free throws, and it's a 2-point game. Another timeout, and I feel like a little deja vu as we're back in a very similar situation. The Sudbury 5 is still, 8.6 seconds is a lot of time left, and so the Sudbury 5 will likely advance it into the front court with a 2-point lead.
8.6, it really is a lot of time. And Windsor's probably going to foul as quickly as possible here, like maybe 1 second comes off the clock. But I think what Coach Logan Stutz is doing right now is he's trying to find an inbound play so he can get the ball inbounded to his best free throw shooter. So if they want to go ahead and foul him, well, by all means.
What you typically want to do in a possession like this is the ball's in the inbound situation in the front court. You probably have your worst free throw shooter inbounding the ball. Then what I would like to see is your best free throw shooter gets that first pass. The next pass goes to your second or third best free throw shooter, and if you can get 3 passes in this possession, you'll at least kill 4 or 5 seconds off, and Windsor won't have much of a possession left, even if you do miss that 1 free throw.
Yeah, and if you can take that much time off the clock, what you're doing too with 3 seconds roughly left in the clock, you're forcing Windsor to take a quick shot to either try to win it or tie it. So the more time you can take off, the less time they have to prepare for the next shot.
So the ball will be inbounded by Dexter Williams Jr. A double screen coming for Braylon Rayson, trying to get something in. He does. It's knocked free. Both players crash to the ball. You can't call a timeout in play. It has to be a stoppage. And there's a jump ball. Finally, Dexter Williams Jr. probably better off to just let that one play out because he reaches in. Now he gets a stoppage. So yeah, you can't call a timeout like the NBA. It has to be called on a stoppage in play, which I think is a bit of a ridiculous rule because those situations do happen and you can't do anything about it. You just got to let the play go on, and the possession arrow will be to the Sudbury 5 with 2.8 seconds left in this one.
Yeah, I don't really like that call that much either because all you're really doing is taking away what the defense is doing.
So Jalen Bland, he's going to run it all the way out, and the time expires. Sudbury 5 win again at home. They stopped that losing streak at just 1 game. And that is so key here, Alex, is limiting those losses and rebounding after those losses. It was a bit of a tough one, losing in overtime. You fought back so hard against St. John, and to lose to a team that was 0-5 was a bit disheartening. But they come back here this afternoon, and they rebound so well against this Windsor Express team that gave them everything. They gave them a lot of fight, especially in that second quarter.
Yeah, Windsor, they played incredibly well tonight, and both teams did. I don't want to take anything away from anyone. But it came down to execution at the end and kind of understanding of the rules. He was unaware he wasn't able to call a timeout there on the floor, so he just kept trying to do it rather than pass the ball, which allowed us to waste another 4 seconds off the clock. And then the game ended up being a win for us.
Yeah, so the Sudbury 5, they moved to 5-2 on the season. The Windsor Express dropped to 1-6. Now, we don't have the power to do so, but if we could give out a game ball, I think you'd split it down the middle. Dexter Williams Jr., what a game he had, especially in that fourth quarter. And then Devin Gilligan, he fouled out, but the effort that he gave throughout the entire time, right up into that 7-minute mark of the fourth quarter, 22 points, he was spectacular.
Yeah, and they both really were. I think you were dead on with that. You'd have to get a saw out and cut the ball in half because they were both so crucial to us getting the victory tonight. And with Bland and Rayson really trusting their teammates tonight, I find they needed those players to step up. They needed a combination of a couple players to step up. As they were being double teamed, it's what you have to do.
And it was so nice to see that in those nights where Rayson and Bland aren't going to have those 30-point efforts, you're not going to get 60 combined points, that some other players can come up and step up. And Gilligan, who got the start tonight, he's been coming off the bench for a lot of the season, grabbed that by the reins and just, held on to it. And I wouldn't be surprised the next game to see Gilligan inserted in that starting lineup again.
Yeah, Coach Stutz, he's really lucky. This team, they pretty much have 7 or 8 players that they could be starting on any given night, and he's got the luxury of running the players through practice, see who's giving the solid effort, see who has the hot hand, and he's subbing them into the starting lineup accordingly.
Well, the Sudbury 5 pull this one out. It was close down the stretch. They do end up winning 123-121 for Nick Liard, Alex Gunn, and Julia Williams, and all the crew behind the scenes. We want to thank you once again for watching Sudbury 5 basketball. We'll be back in your homes, on your televisions, or on your computers next weekend when there is a home and home against the London Lightning and the Halifax Hurricanes. Thank you once again for watching Sudbury 5 basketball. 5 win 123-121.